No, the other one. So the dickheads in the UK government keep poking the fucking bear.
Oh,
Yeah.
Literally. You fucking clowns. What are you thinking?
What?
Why?
Thinking.
The bear drinks vodka
Yeah, I know.
and wears a fur hat.
Yes, which is why you shouldn't fuck with the bear. He's
Yeah.
drunk and warm.
Yes.
Hey, do you know a funny thing? A little bit on the side, but do you know when the ushanka, the typical Russian hat, we call that bear pussy in Norway.
I'd like you to say that to a Russian's face.
I have several times, and he
I mean-
laughs, and then we clink
Well,
our
that
glasses.
under thing I need to know.
Well, here's something interesting. So the Russian word for the side, well, we call it an overseas cap, and the little side cap that's kind of split up in the middle. It's called palatka, which is also slang for vagina in Russian.
There we go.
So you're wearing, you're wearing your palatka today. Yeah, yes, indeed.
Yeah. It's gone wrong if you're sticking your head in there. So,
Don't mind the ration itch.
so the blithering idiots in the United Kingdom have decided
Which
to
ones? There's quite a few.
the ones that have access to long-range missiles and are just giving them away to Eastern European shitholes. Those ones. Yeah, they've decided to give long-range missiles to Ukraine. So now Ukraine has the capability to launch strikes within Russian territory. And Russia is understandably rather pissed off about that.
Can't imagine why.
It's almost
think-
like this is spiraling into a world war.
Yes, it's almost
I
as
think
if
it was-
they're trying to push it into one on purpose.
I think Monkey
To be
said,
fair,
said it
war
well
is
in one of the
profitable.
servers, is that this is kind of bordering on the Cuban Missile Crisis in the 60s.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, a reverse Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
But this is actually probably what they want, though. A war is profitable for a lot of reasons. So you just destroy another country or two, spend a bunch of money on the fucking weapons, do some invention of some new weapon,
Yep.
make
but-
a fucking
and
ton
here-
of money
well,
from
well
the war
they've
profits.
seen after Iraq and Afghanistan and the associated bullshit over there that no matter how badly you fuck up, how much you lie, how many innocent people you kill, and how many of your servicemen are slaughtered for your stupidity, nothing will happen to you. So why wouldn't they do it again?
There's probably this underlying desire to take oil from Russia anyway. So they've got all those resources there. Ooh, maybe we should have those resources.
Yeah, God
See,
forbid.
I think that's
Nice
too
oil pipe you
myopic
have
of
there.
you, to be honest.
Well,
You've got the war profiteering shit that goes on in every conflict, but you can even manufacture conflicts like the war on drugs and things like that domestically in countries. I think this is more about the fact that Russia is a nationalist country. They're trying to return to a lot of their Russian imperial ways in many, you saw it in Ossetia and with the Chechens and places like that, where Russia isn't playing by Western rules. They're not playing by let's all be in this balance of destruction if economically we're not all tied together.
Well,
Russia's a very independent country. And
that's it.
that's why they want to destroy Russia.
Putin does not seem to want to be part of the shadow world government. He just wants to be the actual world government.
Yeah, no, I don't fucking blame him though.
Hmm.
Honestly, I think they're going the right way about things. I think UK would benefit from a similar sort of mindset to the Russians, isolationism. Actually have our borders defended and not let ourselves be involved with this stupid German EU project, which is clearly not benefiting us.
I mean, all Russian state media needs to do is stick the rainbow dildo butt monkey on TV and go, this is what England's allowing. Do you want to be like England?
Yeah, but the Russians don't believe that that's real until you go over and tell them, unfortunately, it fucking is. They think that's propaganda.
That's it. Like, how stupid do they think we are? No. We wish it was Russian propaganda.
Yeah, it's just one of those nationalism, and is a threat to global peace, how we call it. And,
Yes, the global agenda at the very least.
Yeah, and now global peace doesn't mean lack of conflict. It means focused conflict on nations that aren't complying.
Yes. And it seems like they seem to desperately want an actual shooting war. They seem to be hell-bent on pushing Russia to the point that Russia has no choice but to declare war. And
I
how
fucking
in
hope
the...
Russia wins.
Oh, same.
Yeah, fuck it all.
I know that
Not
sounds
in, not,
extreme.
I'm not supporting any of the sides here. I'm just sick and tired of this whole shit.
At this point, I'll put on the hat and be an Orthodox Christian. I'm fucking done.
Well, no. Why I say what I'm saying is that basically we're in this position where we have these globalist shills running pretty much everything. The government's pretty much all of these people are politicians that have gone through a regime that has basically trained them to be a cookie cutter politician. So they're all basically perfect models of the WEF fucking shill. So there's no way that the Britain that we want can ever come about because we basically have politicians that will never allow it to. The only way that will ever happen is if basically all of the politicians lose their jobs and are replaced. You're not going to replace them without some massive upheaval, and basically a war is that massive upheaval.
And that's why they hate Putin, because Putin is Russian old guard.
Yeah, exactly.
He was trained by the fucking KGB. We know what Putin is. Putin's what do they whine about Putin? He's a nationalist, imperialist psychopath. Yes, and that's great for Russia.
Yeah, and that's what Russia culturally demands, and really a lot of Eastern European countries are culturally like that, where a strong national identity is important and demanded of a lot of leaders. So,
I mean, it should have been it should be demanded of all leaders to, be for your own country than anything else.
oh, but that would incite conflict.
Yep. How
That's
dare
all conflict right now.
how dare President Trump, I mean Putin, put his country first?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really, I think, and it definitely looks like Chet gets it. That's really what they want, and the fact that you get all these illegal immigrants flooding into countries means that the nationalism gets dampened down dramatically.
Yeah. Not only that, but a massive war would definitely put off a few people wanting to immigrate to these areas. They'd be like, maybe I don't want to blow up.
But see, well, they would never be sent to the front line, though.
So they think.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I'd be willing to bet. Oh well, we're taking in these refugees. We can't turn them into soldiers to go fight our war.
True. That's probably. The United Nations says you can't ask refugees to be soldiers or some bullshit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the problem that wouldn't be the problem. The people would, if it escalates hot enough to the point that, like in World War II, we had the Luftwaffe actually bombing us, dropping bombs on houses on a regular basis. Immigrants aren't going to want to sit around in those houses and be bombed.
No, they'll all just fuck off back home.
To that point. Because, and this is something I think is a huge problem with the way we fight wars now, is it's done so remotely, where not just geographically, but bomb by wire and things like that, where
drone strikes and so on.
Exactly. So there's no realness to a lot of the conflict for the civilian populations, and the politicians are civilians. Until you get.
Well, they certainly haven't served enough to get citizenship, have they?
No. And I think it's like, oh well, there won't be an incident ever on our soil, and that is the most awful hubris.
I say as they poke the nuclear bear, the drunk nuclear bear.
Yep.
So
Poland won't be between England and Russia, just like every other country between.
Well,
Russia will be
just like for the last 70 years, Poland's surrounded on all sides by communists. It's just that some of them call themselves the European Union.
Hmm.
The other thing I find interesting is that America goes on about how, oh, this Ukrainian war thing is really awful and bad after spending 20 years at war with sheep farmers.
And
It's like-
lost
Yeah.
And
because
lost,
we didn't win. We didn't fight to win. That's the
Well,
thing.
no, you
where-
were fighting for a regime change that helped the empire of America. That was simply it.
Yeah, and they fucked that
Yeah,
up
I'm-
colossally. Look, if you're going to
yeah,
go
because
and
nobody
get
fights to win.
no, you need to fight to win. If you're going to get involved in a foreign country like that, you need to actually fucking finish the job. You go in, you wipe out the scummy fuckers, and then you install them as a protectorate.
Yep.
Yes,
I saw
But
something
that would
funny.
be imperialist and evil.
It was
Good.
something
And
like
that's the kind of imperialism that's accepted, not nation building.
Hmm.
Because it kind of pisses me off
Yeah,
when I
but
hear
I
people
just
say,
noticed that the UK. Oh, I just noticed that the UK is naming their missiles after GI Joe characters.
"Oh, Storm Shadow, yeah." But it pisses me off when I hear, oh, it's American imperialism. No, it's us pissing away money, thinking that that will influence people, rather than actually going in and doing imperial shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Much-
Trudeau
much-
sending
yeah.
what,
Sorry.
a couple of 100 million to, I think it was Uganda for their environmental policy.
Oh God.
Yeah, or sending money for education in Pakistan for gender diversity education. Like, no, fuck
Yeah.
that. That's not imperialism. That
Talk about
that
countries
is
that still execute that still not execute them. They hunt them down and rip open the heads of albinos because they believe there's gold there.
yes, it's almost as if they need some good old-fashioned British imperialism.
yeah, and this nation building stuff. It's not. It's bribery essentially. It's not imperialism.
It's almost as if that's
bribery. And
exactly
that's
what's
just a
going
personal
on in
hang-up.
Ukraine.
Yeah,
They're just bonging a new government for themselves.
Yep.
But they're just buying
it-
shares in Zelensky's little tin pot dictatorship. And yes, it is a dictatorship because he imprisoned the opposition.
and if anybody denies that, Zelensky's a dictator, I've got some oceanfront property in Nebraska to sell you.
Well, that's
But I think that's the ultimate problem here is people that are in power think that money and influence works the same way everywhere like it does in the West. And that's a bold-faced lie.
yeah. Well, just that's it. Just because Western politicians would sell out their own grandma for $1 doesn't mean that Russian politicians would. I'd sell out your
And-
grandma for $1, but not babushka or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. And Katie Lane asks, and hello, I think you haven't been in here a lot, but wasn't Zelensky installed by the U.S. regime change? Yes, the color revolution in 2014.
Yeah. Yes.
Was it Maidan Revolution or whatever it was
Yeah.
called?
What?
Euromaidan, yeah.
Yeah. What is it with failed, pathetic, useless at their fucking civilian jobs, losers, getting installed as fucking leaders of the world? See, Canada, Ukraine, France.
U.S.
Britain.
Nah, it would be right. It's not right putting America there because Biden isn't even alive.
Well, Biden's not in charge of the United States.
No.
Man's EKG is a flat
Well,
line.
Biden's not even in charge of his own diaper.
Oh man.
But he is in charge of the hairs on his legs that float in the pool.
and those blood vessels.
Anyway.
children
I
like
wonder if the hairs on his legs are plugs too.
Oh,
Yes,
God.
they have to be.
Anyway, let's finish up World War III and move on to something else stupid. So, yeah, so these idiots are sending long-range missiles to Ukraine for reasons, because apparently they're going to help. And yeah, Russia's saying that it would require an adequate response from our military. Yeah, the best case scenario is that they just carpet bomb the general vicinity of where they think their missiles are coming from. Do you want Russia bombing civilian targets? Because we know that Zelensky's gonna hide his fucking missiles in between a hospital and a daycare center.
Oh, he's going to use the Palestinian method. Yeah, I could figure that.
Well, we know he's been hiding his troops in church in schools before.
Oh yeah.
Didn't the Ukrainians take back a city recently?
So they claim.
I mean, I could say I've liberated a city too, and yeah, if I have CNN backing me up, then who are you to say that I'm wrong?
Did somebody say B2 Liberator? I think it's a B2. I hope it's a B2. Anyway.
It could be. Callum Dayton's asking, how much is this damned war costing? He'd love to know. How to boot under. Yeah. It's like, who knows at this point? Because this is only publicly spent monies.
Well,
Just design a good gun and get a military contract.
Let's
You'll be fine.
let's put it this way: it's more than enough money that they could have just sent the United States military into Mexico, made it a territory, wiped out the gangs, and then narrow the border down to whatever the next bit is, which is like a tiny little area compared to all of fucking Texas.
Yes. Don't give me ideas, Bezic.
Oh, you know I desperately
Don't
want
give me
to.
ideas.
Just remember, if you wanted to invade Canada, you
Well,
only need
look,
to get
if
100 kilometers of the country.
Hey, if the Democrats desperately want all the Mexicans to be Americans, there's an easier way to achieve this than letting them come here one by one. We
true.
just take the whole country.
Honestly, I think the Panama Canal would be a better, border for the United States.
Probably, yeah. Since the
Be a
United
more
States
easily
built the
defended
bloody
border.
thing.
Exactly. and then Jimmy fucking Carter gave it back, that little bastard. Made giant rabbits haunt his dreams.
Yeah. Swimming rabbits, even.
Yes.
Horny swimming rabbits.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Or dolphins. They're really creepy.
Speaking
no, Trim.
Anyway, moving away from
you know,
Trim's
you know.
fish fetish.
Okay.
Wait, but I thought you were the one that were after the mermaids, Bezic.
I'm more of a bird
I'm
person myself.
traditional mermaids, not whatever the fuck that thing in the Little Mermaid is.
Dugongs aren't.
Wait, Trim, did you just say that you were into birds?
Don't involve me here.
Wait for it.
Crow's so disturbed his glasses fell off. Anyway, so speaking of the House of Commons, Mr. Traitor, that's right, Mr. Traitor said, the donation of these weapon systems gives Ukraine the best chance to defend themselves against Russia's continued brutality. Yes, the long-range air-launched cruise missiles with a range of up to 200 miles. Yes, those are fantastic for defense.
Yeah.
But no, let's supply so many supplies that we actually do make ourselves a party to the conflict. I'm sure that will go well.
Yeah, well, Canada's already got soldiers over there supposedly observing and advising.
Yeah, so does
The
America.
last time Canadians
America.
went to observe and advise, we ended up getting into firefights in Afghanistan.
Oh. It's
Or
like,
sorry,
the Vietnam solution. It's like, go and observe and influence and train, and then don't worry about these SOG groups. No, they're not going over.
No,
borders.
we'll ignore them, but putting them aside, these advisors do seem to be along the lines of, you're not terribly useful. Can you go stand there in direct line of the Russian snipers so you can get killed so we can have an excuse to go in?
Funny that.
Like, here's some advice for the Ukrainian military. Give up. Leave us the
almost
fuck
like-
alone.
It's almost like they believe that we don't see that there's a proxy war going on, and that we're believing all of this fucking propaganda bullshit.
Yeah, like shit. If they'd at least come out and admit that it's a fucking proxy war, I'd be more okay with that.
I'd just be like, why don't you just go to a full hot war if you're going to go to war? Do it properly.
Yeah.
Pussy.
Fucking around and commit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't conscript me, because I don't want to go fight and die in some Eastern European shithole over a
No.
cause I don't believe in.
Particularly.
Likewise.
And notice how all the people saying, send troops to Ukraine, it's always the people who aren't eligible to be drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Send anyone but me.
Oh,
I want to see people die for what I think I believe in.
If you kill
What?
everybody that we send, then there's more things for me.
Hmm.
So send as many people as possible.
yeah. And any idiot who's like, oh, but Australia and England don't have a draft. Yeah, we didn't have a draft before World War II and Vietnam either, you fuckwit.
Yep.
It
I-
comes later when
I-
they start running out.
I guarantee that there is a document sitting in a filing cabinet somewhere in whatever Capitol building that says something like the Draft Act of insert year here.
Yeah. The Emergency Draft Act.
Yeah, the Emergency Draft Act of insert year here.
Uh,
And don't forget,
I
and of course,
really
serving
hate
politicians
this.
will always be exempt.
and their children,
Yes.
because you have to have the next generation of leaders ready to go.
Exactly.
Oh, there aren't that many politicians who have children anymore. They just find a random kid they found
Adopted
and
African.
groomed.
That's it.
No. We're talking
Oh.
children that will carry on the family legacy, not for pleasure.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
No. Remember, the banging in Biden's closet isn't the skeletons, it's the small child that's trapped.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yes, the skeleton in Biden's closet is always under 5 foot tall.
Yeah.
And it's not even a
Yeah,
skeleton.
the small child, or as Biden refers to him, potpourri.
How did that guy manage to get elected?
We can't
We're
answer
still- we're
that
not on
question
Rumble.
on YouTube.
Exactly. That's leading in for Rumble, guys. Because I have no idea at all.
Anyway,
I
and
swear.
before Trim, by the ways,
Get
us
triggers
into
out
trouble.
again.
Yes.
Wait, what?
You heard me.
We've been shadow banned?
No, just you specifically.
Oh, that's fair.
2 hours later.
Oh dear, we have some breaking news.
What?
Uh-oh.
Britain Storm. This is from Billy Blogs, so I will thank him for that. Apparently, Britain's Storm Shadow missiles are being blamed for Luhansk strikes within Russian territory.
Far behind Russian lines. Jeez, almost as if we
Immediately
fucking
used.
called
I got
it.
a link for you. I had a link.
Wow.
The hell?
I swear to God, if England
Yeah.
fucking starts to, if England is part of the cause of the fucking Third World War, they can go fuck themselves.
I mean, they were kind
Yeah.
of the start of the first and second.
Oh,
Well, I don't know. I think they
There's a
were the
lot of help
start
from
of the
Germany.
first, but they sure jumped in with both fucking feet.
Yeah. Ooh.
Not in a Bobcat
CSG
says
that.
Wait a minute, there's a link.
he wishes everyone a very pleasant World War III.
Mm.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Bobcat.
see you on the other side,
I
Conrad.
wish you the best as well.
So from the
It's end of the world as
Snailograph,
we know it.
Russian installed officials in the eastern Ukrainian region of Luhansk accused Kiev of firing missiles at an industrial complex in the region's main city on Friday. The strikes are around 100 kilometers behind the front lines. This blah 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 strike position is potential evidence Ukraine now has access to long distance weaponry. But we know they have access. The fucking Brits gave it to them.
Surprise Pikachu face?
Earlier this week, the UK sent a batch of long distance missiles to
Yeah.
Ukraine. Who could have fucking predicted that?
It's like,
What,
here's
you
some
mean when
missiles,
they
but don't use them.
Yeah, like, what did you expect?
Why couldn't it just give Ukraine the shitty, almost out of date weapons?
Or just
Because too
not
many
give them any of
fucking
our
people in
fucking
the West-
weapons at all. We need to fight
Yeah.
off China, not weaken ourselves until they get ideas.
Yeah, well,
They
Nah,
already
too
have
late for that.
ideas.
yeah.
Yeah.
We should have done that in 1930.
You gotta
Let the
you have-
Chinese roll over them.
You have to thank
Or Japanese.
the corpse in chief for that
Mhm.
one.
No, this is longer than that with China. Granted,
Come on,
I would say
Biden's
it
been
goes.
dead for years. He can be blamed for it.
I mean, he's been dead since the 90s, probably. But Bill Clinton gave the Chinese basically their nuclear weapons technology.
Of course he
The
did.
Chinese didn't have that until the mid 90s. And it's like, oh, well, gee, how did these spies suddenly get in everywhere from China?
Mm.
And granted, I personally would go back to blaming Nixon for opening China up for trade, but still, that's.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, was it China, or wasn't it just a CCP? Because
CCP.
Well-
yeah, CCP isn't fucking China.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
China
say China,
has-
but we mean CCP.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
clear.
I usually try to say Chi-Com, so it's clear.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this clip from the Songs of Chardonnay podcast, please consider joining us live at 2 p.m. London time every Saturday.